Hey guys, and welcome on into today's college football pick video play for November 8th, 2017. To get all of our college football plays, you can check those out over at stumpthespread.com, linked down in the video description. And be sure to click that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Heading into today's action, we got 3 contests on the board, all in the Mid-American Conference. We're going to be talking about this one here over in the state of Michigan between the Eastern Michigan Eagles and the Central Michigan Chippewas. The road team today, Eastern Michigan, coming in as about 1.5 to 2 point favorites. And this might surprise some people just based on the overall records of both of these teams. Eastern Michigan standing 3-6 overall compared to their conference foe, who's standing 5-4 overall. Also, Eastern Michigan just 1-4 in conference compared to Central Michigan, who's 3-2 in conference. But nonetheless, when you just compare these teams side by side in terms of strength of schedule, the Eagles have had a tougher path overall, and also the Eagles have just been a consistent competitive force, staying close in these games no matter what level of competition that they've been going against, which has generally been a pretty tough slate here on the year for the Eagles. So Vegas still giving this team a lot of credit, even though they do only stand 3-6 overall. But Eastern Michigan finally getting a more manageable opponent in their last outing, and they took the opportunity to really impress as they went on to beat Ball State at home by a final of 56-14. This had to feel good for Eastern Michigan, who had been riding a 6-game losing streak against a very tough schedule. During that 6-game losing streak, the Eagles fell by a touchdown or less against very respectable competition. Ohio, on the road against Kentucky, on the road against Toledo, on the road against Army, as well as Western Michigan, and on the road against Northern Illinois. I don't care what level of football you're at, especially in the Mid-American Conference, but that's a pretty respectable slate there for a group of 5 team nonetheless. They also have a road win against Rutgers that came way back in the non-conference, which is very respectable. And then, of course, in their last outing, getting that blowout win against Ball State. But Eastern Michigan, still 3 games left on the schedule. They'll probably be favored in each one. So if they are going to go on and compete and go on to win these games, they could still reach a bowl game. With 3 wins right now, they'd add 3 more, get to that 6-win number, and that would be a great goal for this group to accomplish. It's not going to be easy, starting here on the road against Central Michigan, then next week going to Miami, Ohio, who's another team that's better than their overall record might indicate. They've just been a disappointment this year, and then closing things out in a very much more manageable game at home against Bowling Green. But Eastern Michigan right now on the year, they've had one of the top defenses in the conference. They're ranked 29th right now in the nation in points allowed, giving up about 20 points per game on average, which is even more impressive when you consider the fact that the offense hasn't necessarily been doing this unit all that many favors throughout the year, and given the fact that Eastern Michigan has gone against a pretty difficult schedule overall. They rank 91st in the nation in total scoring average, and they rely a lot more on their pass game. They rank 30th in the nation in passing compared to 122nd in rushing, and that's because they have a veteran quarterback that they really believe in. They put a lot of trust in him. Brogan Roback, he's thrown for over 2,300 yards this year, 14 TDs, and that ground game just hasn't been able to get going like the Eagles would want it to. Perhaps they can have a little bit more success here against a Central Michigan defense that isn't one of the better units in the conference, so perhaps Eastern Michigan can bring a more balanced attack today. But nonetheless, the home team, Central Michigan, they're at 5-4 overall, trying to grab one more win so they can reach bowl eligibility. So really both these teams still having that incentive of trying to reach a bowl game. That incentive is a little more in front of the face of Central Michigan today with just needing one more win. But Eastern Michigan also knowing the fact that if they lose one more game, they're going to be out of bowl consideration. So really both these teams still having that incentive here. But Central Michigan, they've been looking pretty strong over the past month. They won on the road against Ohio. They blew out Ball State on the road. They beat Western Michigan on the road in their last outing. And actually in their last home game, that's the last game that Central Michigan lost, it was to Toledo by 20 points. But Toledo looking like one of the top teams in the MAC right now. So, you know, not expecting to win that game by any means, but they weren't all that competitive either. And they also have a conference home loss against Miami, Ohio. They lost that one by 17 points. So interestingly enough for Central Michigan, they've been competing better on the road than they have had at home this season. And Central Michigan, they rank somewhat similarly overall to Eastern in terms of what they do on the offensive side of the ball. They rank 75th in the nation in scoring, 47th in passing, 95th in rushing. So certainly another team that has had more success passing the ball than getting it done on the ground. They also have a veteran quarterback, Michigan transfer Shane Morris, who's really plugged in and done some good things this year for the Chippewas. He's thrown for over 2,200 yards, 18 touchdowns. However, Central Michigan, they aren't as good defensively in comparison to Eastern Michigan. They rank 72nd in the nation in total team defense, giving up about a touchdown more per game on average than the Eagles, and that's also against a slightly more manageable schedule overall for the Chippewas. So that can be potentially a difference maker here for the Eagles. So who we like in this one against the spread, we're going to go ahead, take the road team, siding with Eastern Michigan. We like their defensive advantages. We don't think that these two offensive units have all that much differentiating them, and also the fact that this is an Eagles team. They stay competitive. They compete very hard no matter what level of competition they've been going against, and they've just been playing in very close games all year. We expect another close one here, but we do like the Eagles, based on the strength of their defense, to get over the hump and go on to pick up this win on the road as they go on to cover this very small, manageable spread. So again, siding with Eastern Michigan today here to cover this spread as our college football pick video play. And again, guys, to get all of our college football plays, you can check those out over at stumpthespread.com. Links down in the video description. And be sure to click that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Thanks for stopping on in, and we hope to see you guys in future videos. Bye.